Good evening, America. My name is Minister Rashid Fry. Um, my spirit was been being prodded by God to just speak on some things that's going on in this world. Um, as you see by my hat, I'm a um, I'm a veteran of 13 years. Um, very obviously, a a black man, um, residing in America. Please excuse, first of all, some of my thought processes I'm thinking, because I don't want to be long and drawn out, but I want to at the same time express some of what's going on. I don't speak from any particular platform. I'm just coming to you from my humble home, a place that I believe that God has blessed me with, not the American government, um, not anything other than the divinity of my heavenly Father. Um, my heart is heavy, and that's why I'm coming in saying and speaking this piece just at a short time. Is like as difficult, and I've been on this earth 60 years, so I came through grew up in all the civil rights. Remember Dr. King and the Kennedys and many of the other greats and everything. And it's like, why are we so divided? Very straight to the point. It's like we are really what appears to be on the edge of civil war. We can dismiss and we can play with the politics and the rhetoric that's going on. I believe it's on both sides. One is no better than the other. We want to discount like real truths in this. That America is supposed to be the melting pot, but the playing field isn't even or level. I can, where we say that racism doesn't exist and everything, or we go back in the years and say that things aren't as bad as they are, but where is it just humanly right? We have so forgotten just to be a human, or never have been, within that particular mindset, unless you are in your place and you play your position. We've gone as far as, we speak of God, but we've twisted his word to fit our own secular and selfish, means, that it's blurred to where people don't even know how to turn to God. Because the one thing about this is that everything that's going on is spoken of in the Bible. And it's like, as long as we continue to sin against God, we're gonna fail as a world. We're looking at many things of where men will become lovers of themselves, and we have this thing where it's cool to just say whatever, however, to anybody, just because we don't like them. Just something simple. We have people out here killing each other over people or situation that they haven't even met. Some of the people that's doing the things never met President Trump. And as a military man, though I don't support certain ideology, and I don't know how true it is, but it really hurts that to think as a veteran, and that your commander in chief would call you a sucker, would be one to order you into combat, but then turn around and call you a sucker because in the midst of doing your job, whether it was poor information or whatever, and you get killed, that you're a sucker for being there. And to think that this freedom that we speak on is provided by our bloodshed, good, bad, or indifferent, wherever you line up, no matter what you're saying coming out your mouth. Whereas the belief about the prince in Saudi Arabia had this journalist is killed when Saddam was in when Saddam Hussein was in control, and if you spoke against him, you'd end up in a box. But we fought against tyranny like that so that you could speak freely and not worry about, because see, before our president was president, he was a normal citizen, and the attitude and the way that he speaks and everything, that freedom was provided by bloodshed prior to him coming into office. That freedom of democracy, where you could take a real estate tycoon and he become president of the United States of America, responsible for the entire basically for the entire free world, and then to speak in the manner, and even with the ones that are coming up. But we have people that have never even shaken his hand, but are willing to kill somebody else over just a simple belief. No matter who's in office, when a recession comes through, it affects us all. It's really sad of state where we're at. And like I said, I'm just a regular citizen sitting up here. The only value that I have in the midst of all this is if and who I'm going to vote for. And then after that, is back to business is as usual. Where is it okay? I've been in combat and understand, and even have received police training myself. And the thing is that we were taught in police training, that you automatically, when you discharge 2 times, center mass, bam, bam. Not 7 times. That's a clear intent to kill. We're not even shooting to stop the threat. Stopping the threat does not have to end in death of anyone. But what we're seeing is repeatedly this, open season. And because of the politics that are involved in this, fairness is off the table. It's just now left to who's not to be blamed for the situation. I've seen other individuals that are talking about that if you would have just followed instructions and everything. I work a 40-hour work week, and this world has gotten so insane that I'm scared to drive to work. I drive from work and I go home. I wear a mask because of the fact that I have a wife with a compromised immune system, and I have to protect my my home. We hear about this the testing of the vaccine, but that's been made a joke of, to where we as the American people cannot trust the fact of the validity of it, no matter what's coming out of the individual's mouth, no matter how good they sound, because of all the jokes that have been played. Who would tell anyone? When have anyone ever told a person of any logical or reasonable education level to drink bleach in order to fend off a disease or a virus? What kind of joke is that to even tell during the period when there's this mass panic that's out there? Like I said, I'm just speaking as an American citizen. I mean, my heart is so heavy, that as a father, as a great grandfather, to not speak with the platforms that are given. I don't care about this, whether going viral. I just want people to seriously think about the things that are going on. That's important. Like I said, we're basically on verge of another civil war because of the divisions in the lines. It was the same North against the South, and the fact that we could not or we didn't have shared ideologies. So therefore, the only thing that was left was the tearing apart of the country, and the brothers against brothers and fathers against sons, because of all this joking, and we're playing with people's lives and everything. Why are we here? Why are we here? And because of the fact of our lack of love, understand God don't bless no mess. And that's not trying to be hip with some rhyme, but understand that the confusion and the chaos that we're experiencing right now is ridiculous. America, we need to wake up. Even for those that support our current president, understand within the rhetoric that as soon as you decide to think freely, we talk about the Democrats not being, or people not being able to think freely, but as soon as you express your opinion or go against what our current president become, now he becomes the schoolyard bully. You become, the butt of his jokes, or some type of lash out, or lose your job and everything. Where in American history have we seen a cabinet turnover as large as his has been over the 4 years? And this just isn't the president. This is about the spineless individuals that sit around him and tolerate and say that, yeah, this is okay as long as they have their jobs, while the rest of the world or America can go to hell in a handbasket. When are we seriously going to wake up? This thing is so real. We have so many different, as my pastor had said, we have so many different levels of panic and chaos going on. We don't know which way to go. We can't send our kids to school to be educated, which now ill-equip them to be prepared to engage the world. We're fighting as adults amongst ourselves over the vote and who's going to be in office. And then we have this virus itself that's killing off people, and we can't even trust the fact that those that are responsible for this, that's going to come with a true vaccine, or is it something just to make me look good to get voted into office? All this that we're arguing and about is frivolous. No, the racism is real. It always has been. Where has it been okay, or where is it okay for a serviceman that was willing to die for the country to come back because of the color of his skin and be lynched while still in his uniform? And we talk about disrespect to the flag. But these type of things went on, and the mindset and the behavior is still okay. And it has gotten so far where our children has taken slave terminology and turned it into be ebonics or slang. They call their cars whips and call each other this derogatory name, still making it cool to be ignorant. We get a few of us that look like me to speak against the fact of the reality, but the very truth. I don't think any one of them, whether it's Herschel Walker or Candace Owens, it got pulled over at the wrong time and was pulled out the side of the car, and some officer stick their hand doing a body cavity search on the side of a street, or if Herschel Walker would have been George Floyd and had his someone with a knee on his neck. But because of whatever fringe benefits or whatever acknowledgement or just the from becoming a has-been, and it ain't about money. Because like I said, I have my legacy. I've gone to school because I had a mother that saw that I was educated. But the reality of it is, I will not sell out on the very truth. I was brought up with yes sir and yes ma'am, and understand all these things that mean respect. But is that same respect given back? Not even close. This is a country, and still to this day, because I've been around the world, and there is no other country that's better, but it's only better because of the geographic. It's not better because of the way that I'm treated or the way that I'm looked upon. We had a military service that was segregated. Everybody willing to die for the same flag, but it was segregated. And we're at the same place. Again, separatism. No matter how you look at it, no matter how minute, ain't nobody on either side talking about laying out a plan to sit up here. We want a law and order state because we want to control. It's not about protecting. It's about how much control. It's about how much continued oppression can I place upon you. I'm in a field that says, you know what? We need mental health services because of the fact that if this individual is acting abnormal, I kill him. Obviously, they're not operating in a logical mindset, so I shoot you like a dog in the street. Because still, and even after all this time, that if we're born free, why is it an amendment within the Constitution that grants me my freedom? But not one president has addressed that. And these are the same people, or as we sit back and we talk about the fact that this isn't a racist country, then why do we have to have an amendment for a level or a culture of people to have their freedom? And I'm not a Harvard graduate or even a Georgetown or Morehouse. But I'm a simple individual that understand the very basic needs or the very basic issues that are going on, that I look at in every day. Like I said, I'm not trying to be the next it thing or whatever. But it's the fact that all this rhetoric and all this level of intolerance towards one another is ridiculous. Anybody that believes in any of this, that when we're speaking against some stuff, put yourself in that same place. Put your child in that same place. I don't care what side of the line. If there's any black Republican that ain't telling your child that, you know what, now when you get pulled over, make sure that you follow the commands of the police officer so that you can make it home tonight. I have to tell my daughters to make sure, because of the way that now, even the way that black women are treated. Walking out your house feeling like there's a target, or praying that you can make it back home without incident. Scared to call the police because you may be the one ending up in a body bag. This is the real world that we're in. Forget about the numbers on how many this and how many that and all. The fact that the behaviors exist and go on, that's the problem. And nobody is speaking to it. The basic problems. Of course, as a Christian, all lives matter. But why are some lives more valuable than others? America, again, I'm not for my service to it, to the flag. But as a veteran, as a human, as a black man that loves his country, like Doc Rivers said, I love a country that don't love me. That there should be enough to make any logical individual think. I'm not speaking to divide the lines. I'm speaking and saying that the cry out needs to be, where is the unity? Where is the brotherhood? Across the lines, the color lines, I say, I love you all. Because when I put that uniform on and grabbed that M16 and went wherever that I was deployed, it wasn't only for the black people or only for the Asians or only for the Hispanic or the Caucasian. It was for everyone. It was for America. Quit falling for the okie doke, people. Quit falling for the okie doke. Not one of us walking on this earth today is without sin or blemish. God bless you. Good night. And God bless America.